Vitis Kageni, a fiancé to Maina Kageni, a mother to Mfalme. I live in Machakos County, Syokimau, in Nairobi, Kenya. I love to preach for the first time. I'd like to preach about the rapture, and I'll speak a little bit about the fake pastors, because these are the end times. These are not the times to start preaching about creation. These are the times to start preaching, telling your congregants about the end times, because the end times are nigh. The time to start preaching, bishops, pastors, preachers, to start preaching about Revelation, Thessalonians, Corinthians, because these are the last times. We've seen the signs. We've seen fake pastors all over. It's difficult to identify the fake pastors from the real pastors. My main topic today is the rapture. And what is the rapture? The rapture is an event that will occur in the end times when the saints will be caught up in the air, in the sky, in the clouds, to meet Jesus. And this will be a real event. I had a dream. I was in the university and we had a show. And you know how university students like funkies. So we were all pushing to pay. A multitude of people were all pushing to pay to get in and see watch the show. So there's a multitude of people. It was like a stampede. Everybody was pushing to pay. A multitude of people. Then all of a sudden, when there was a crowd, we started seeing space. There's a crowd, we see space. There's a crowd, we see space. And guys were being taken up. Caught up. Buildings were being taken up. And people started screaming, shouting, what is happening? Immediately, where we were supposed to go and watch the show, the building was consumed by fire. Other buildings started being consumed by fire. And guys started running for safety. Everybody ran helter-skelter for safety. And immediately I woke up. So if you want to understand the rapture, watch the Thompson cartoon. The Thompson cartoon was written by Richard Thompson. Richard Thompson is a cartoonist who was awarded the best cartoonist in America. And Richard Thompson did a cartoon about the rapture. And if you want to understand it very well, like a 2-year-old, go and watch the Thompson cartoon about the rapture. And the rapture is in the Bible. In the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 4, verse 13 to 18. 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 51 to 58. And it says, I'll tell you a mystery in life. Not everyone will die. What will happen during rapture? Those who are alive in the process of rapture, our bodies will be transformed from mortal to immortality. What does that mean? Our bodies will be changed from those bodies that can die to those that cannot die. And physically will be also totally transformed. So our bodies will be changed from mortal to immortality. And those who are dead will be resurrected for judgment. So they'll either go to heaven or hell. So those who will go to hell, they will experience eternal consummation by fire. It will be a very painful process. Very painful. Where your body is being consumed by fire, but you don't die. It will be very, very, very painful. You wish to die, but death will be no more. Death has gone on a holiday. So it will be very painful, very painful. And the rapture is real. It will happen. You are sleeping with your fiancé in your bed. The fiancé goes up, you are left in the bed. You are shopping with the baby in a trolley in the supermarket. The baby goes up, you are left in the supermarket. You are in the office with your boss. The boss goes up, you are left in the office. You are with your driver. The driver goes up, you are left in the vehicle. It will be like a movie. Believe it or not, it will be like a movie. And there is 3 stages of tribulation. There is the post-tribulation, the pre-tribulation, and the tribulation during rapture. Post-tribulation is the period of great suffering before Christ. Pre-tribulation is the period of great suffering after the coming of Christ. And tribulation during rapture is the period of suffering during rapture. So rapture is real. Those who will be left on earth, they'll experience a very painful consummation of fire. Their bodies are burnt, but they don't die forever. And I live with this Bible verse that says in the book of John 16:33, I have told you these things so that you may have peace. You'll experience trouble, but don't worry, because I have overcome the world. I have overcome the world. I'll speak a little bit about fake pastors, because as I've said, these are the end times. And end times, it will be very difficult to identify fake pastors from real pastors. Very difficult. You'll need the intervention of the Holy Spirit to tell you who is a fake pastor and a real pastor. I'll give you examples in Kenya. We have Pastor Ezekiel in Kenya, Prophet Owori in Kenya, who is a fake prophet, Pastor Nganga, who is a fake pastor, and Pastor Mackenzie, who is a fake pastor, Pastor Kanyare, who is a fake pastor, among others. I'll tell you why. Let's start with Pastor Mackenzie. Pastor Ezekiel. Pastor Ezekiel is a fake pastor. And I'll tell you why. Pastor Ezekiel exchanged his miracles with money and gifts. He is a millionaire pastor. You didn't know, now you know. Pastor Ezekiel is a millionaire pastor, and he gets his money from his congregation. When he performs fake miracles, the congregants give him money or gifts. I've seen him on the television where a congregant gave him money in the envelope, and he gave him live on the television as a gift. And I asked myself, a miracle is a grace from God. Why exchange it with money or gift? Why? He's becoming a millionaire because of the money from the congregants. And in the book of 2 Kings, the story of Naaman, 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 19, we are told about the story of Naaman. Naaman was suffering from leprosy, and Naaman was told to seek Prophet Elisha. And when he was healed, he wanted to pay to gift Prophet Elisha. Prophet Elisha told Naaman, I cannot accept your gift because this is a miracle, a grace from God. So I cannot exchange it with money or gift. So why is Pastor Ezekiel exchanging miracles with money and gifts? And if he claims he's a real pastor performing miracles, why can't he go where there are real sick patients in Kenyatta National Hospital and heal the sick patients so that we may identify him as a miracle worker? You see, it will be if you don't have the discernment of the Holy Spirit, you'll end up in Pastor Ezekiel church every Sunday, every day, looking at him like this, waiting for a miracle. If you don't have the discernment of the Holy Spirit. Let's go to Prophet Owori. He calls himself a prophet. He's the prophet that baptized Raila. Prophet Owori is a fake prophet. He's a prophet of Baal. Now, if you don't know, we have two types of prophets. We have the real prophets from the Bible, and we have prophets of Baal. The real prophets are Prophet Jeremiah, Prophet Elijah, Prophet Elisha, among others. Now, Prophet Owori is a prophet of Baal. Get this clear. Prophets of Baal, it's in the Bible. Prophets of Baal perform miracles. And they can say, let there be sunshine, let there be rainfall, let there be fire. And I saw Prophet Owori on the television, and he said, I'll perform a miracle here. I'll cause rainfall. And I'll pray and I'll cause rainfall. And Prophet Owori prayed in Nakuru, and there was rainfall. And if you don't have the discernment of the Holy Spirit, you'll accept him as a miracle worker. But this is not a prophet. This is a prophet of Baal. They perform miracles. Now, these prophets of Baal, they competed amongst Elijah. the real prophet of God. And Elijah's sacrifice was consumed up by God. So the prophets of Baal are fake prophets. It will need the discernment of the Holy Spirit to identify the prophets of Baal and the real prophets. Prophet of war claims that he knows when the world will end. And it will end by earthquake. And I ask him, Jesus doesn't know when he'll come. So how does he know when the world will end? How does Prophet of war know when the world will end when Jesus himself doesn't know when he will come? So he claims that he knew about COVID. And I asked the Ministry of Health in Kenya, were you aware that there will be COVID in Kenya? I was caught unaware. Every Kenyan was caught unaware. Did you know that there will be COVID in Kenya? So how comes he claims that he knew there will be COVID in Kenya? He is a real fake prophet. He is a fake prophet who claims to know when the world will end, who claims to perform miracles, but in real sense, he's a perfect prophet. I'll go to Pastor Nganga. Pastor Nganga is another fake prophet. He claims to cast out demons. Now ask Pastor Nganga, do you know what a demon is? He doesn't know. And if you want to know about a real demon, read the story in the Bible where Jesus casted out demon to the pigs. A man who had demons, Jesus casted out demons to the pigs. And you'll understand how a real demonic person looks like and how a demonic person reacts to Jesus. Now, I asked Pastor Nganga, do you know the types of evil spirits we have? Because we have types of evil spirits, and a demon is one type of an evil spirit. So, don't just cast out demons and say that you're casting out demons, yet you don't know what a demon is. If you want to know the demons and how they react to Jesus, read the story of how Jesus casted out demons, and the demons went to the pigs, and how the demonic person reacted when he saw Jesus. Pastor Mackenzie. Pastor Mackenzie is another fake pastor. He was sold land by Pastor Ezekiel. And Pastor Ezekiel accepted that he sold land to a serial killer. And Pastor Ezekiel said, I didn't know he's a serial killer. But I asked myself, he didn't know how. He's a fellow pastor. How didn't he know? Pastor Ezekiel, the bank statements were out there. And he accepted. I said, yes, I sold this land to Pastor Mackenzie. And Pastor Mackenzie has killed over 500 congregants in the name of church. And Pastor Ezekiel sold the land to Pastor Mackenzie, a fellow serial killer. And this case of Pastor Mackenzie has been in the Kenyan court since 2023. And we are now in 2024. And you know what? This case Pastor Mackenzie can go scot-free. Ask me why. Now, for instance, I, Beatrice, have a following of, let's say, 50 people or 1 million people. Doesn't matter the number. One person, 50 people, or 1 million people. And those people believe in Beatrice's miracle. They believe in my miracle, my following. And then I say, okay, I want to start a church. So I start a church, and the followers come to my church. So what crime have I committed? I've committed no crime. So it's a very tricky case to Pastor Mackenzie. He can go scot-free because he has not committed any crime. He started a church, and the followers followed him. His followers followed him. And you see, the only way to regulate these churches in Kenya is by taxing the churches very heavily. The way we are taxed as employees, the churches should be taxed 7 times so that it will be very costly to operate a church. Because these churches, the pastors will now know that when I enter a church, it will be very costly to operate it. And they'll be there to worship God and not after money. So the only way to regulate these churches is to tax the churches heavily so that they'll be paying to operate those churches. And I leave you with this quote, Bible quote again. John 16:33. I have told you these things so that you may have peace. In this world, you'll have trouble. But don't worry, I've overcome the world. Have a blessed Sunday.